Today, you're going to learn 7 tricks that stylists use to wear linen in summer and look expensive and elegant. And the last one is what most transforms an entire look. Linen is one of the most beautiful fabrics that exists, and also one of the easiest to get wrong. The difference between sophisticated and sloppy lies in details that almost nobody teaches. But let's start with the first mistake, which is right in the cut. Trick 1. Linen has a trap. It looks fresh on the rack, but arrives home, and in the mirror appears as a fabric that falls without grace, that loses shape. And when the fabric loses shape, the woman wearing it seems less put together than she really is. The first of 7 tricks solves exactly that. Look at the difference. Linen pants with no defined cut, a loose waistband, fabric accumulating at the hip. Comfortable, but without presence. Now the same concept with tailoring. Straight sand pants, a premium off-white tank, and nude slingbacks. The fabric still breathes, but the body has a completely different reading. Stylists call this breathable tailoring. Clean lines, a well-positioned waist, silhouette in place. The rule is simple. Linen can be relaxed, never abandoned. Trick 2. A belief that limits a lot of what's possible with linen in summer. Most women automatically associate the fabric with white, beige, natural tones, as if it only worked in that palette. This is the second of 7 tricks, and I'll warn you, it's a bigger shift than it seems. Look at these straight-cut burgundy linen pants with an ivory blouse and nude slingbacks. The burgundy concentrates the eye, honors the texture, and delivers a completely different reading from the obvious summer look. A chocolate linen midi dress with a caramel bag and gold earrings, a navy shirt with white pants and nude sandals. Deep colors that maintain the lightness of the fabric, but add maturity and a much more expensive appearance. The principle that guides this: the more unexpected the color, the cleaner the rest needs to be. No heavy accessories, no unnecessary layers. And the next trick will show you something that transforms not the color of the linen, but what you put alongside it. The result in the mirror is surprising. Trick 3. Do you put together all your linen looks using only linen? Organic fabric on top, on the bottom, a straw bag, a rustic sandal, everything in the same universe? That's exactly the point, preventing the look from arriving where you want it to. Trick 3 of 7. Stylists create intentional friction between fabrics. Linen has an organic, almost rough texture that absorbs light. When you place matte silk or discreet satin beside it, both honor each other. One needs the other to seem intentional. Look at this look. Straight-cut sand linen, wide-leg pants. Now enters the champagne satin blouse, with a soft drape over the waist. The polished texture makes the wide-leg pants seem more elaborate, and vice versa. The rule is simple. One natural texture, one polished texture. Linen with silk, with premium knit, with clean finish leather. What doesn't work is pairing linen with a straw bag, a rustic hat, and worn flat sandals. The look disappears into the rustic without any counterpoint. This trick is already powerful, but the next one will surprise you differently, because it's not about what you mix, but about how the eye reads the entire look at once. Before we continue, here you don't just learn fashion, you learn the invisible codes that stylists use to make a woman be seen as elegant and important. If you want to keep learning these secrets, click the button below and subscribe to the channel now. Trick 4. Now number 4 of 7. A pattern that makes a big difference. Before showing what works, let me show you the most common mistake. The woman buys a beautiful linen set, blazer and pants in the same tone, and puts underneath it a sheer tank, one with lace, or a thin knit tee that doesn't speak to anything. The set is right. The base destroyed everything. The correction is simple. The base needs to be more discreet than the tailoring. A substantial tank, plain, no prints, nothing that competes for attention with the set. Look at this linen vest and wide leg pants in beige with a substantial cotton tank in ivory, thin strap nude sandals, and a small gold earring. The decisive detail is this. The tank is slightly tucked into the pants. No belt, no accessory in the middle. The eye descends from the vest to the pants without interruption. That's exactly what creates that feeling of a look put together by someone who knows what they're doing. When everything has the same color and the same fabric, the eye travels the entire silhouette at once. It elongates, organizes, and conveys effortless elegance. Another example, a navy linen suit with a plain ivory tank and a structured burgundy bag, or a chocolate set with a beige tank and cognac mules. In every case, the base disappears inside the set, and that's exactly what it should do. This trick already transforms quite a bit, but the next one goes in the opposite direction. Instead of thinking about a set, you'll look at one single piece and understand why what you take away from a linen dress matters as much as what you put on. Trick 5. You know that situation where the linen dress is beautiful on the hanger, but when you wear it, it disappears. It seems like fabric around the body with no story to tell. This is the 5th of 7 tricks, and it answers exactly why that happens. Linen already has its own personality, the irregular texture, the way it falls, the movement when you walk. When you put on a dress full of ruffles, pleats, decorative buttons, and embroidery everywhere, the fabric can't show any of that. The details fight each other, and the result seems agitated, not elegant. What stylists do is work with what they call silhouette before detail. The cut does the heavy lifting, a column cut, a slightly defined waist, a square neckline, or halter. The dress already has presence before you even put on an accessory. Look at this wine linen midi dress with a gently defined waist and a square neckline. On its own, it already works, but see what happens when a nude slingback and a pair of discreet gold earrings enter. The texture of the fabric becomes the protagonist, and the look seems expensive without effort. Now compare with this other one, an off-white linen dress with delicate embroidery only at the hem, and a caramel leather sandal. The embroidery works because it's the only detail. That's it, one focal point, not a decoration. The richer the linen texture, the cleaner the line of the dress needs to be. This trick is already powerful, but the next one will test something that most people get wrong without realizing, and it has to do with the proportion between what's below and what's above. Before the next trick, let me tell you something. How many times have you opened a closet full of clothes and still thought, I have nothing to wear? The problem isn't a lack of clothes. It's that nobody ever taught you how to combine the pieces you already have. That's why I put together a guide with over 150 looks. Tested one by one, using only 15 pieces you probably already have at home. And the best part, you don't even need to think. Just choose the look, copy it piece by piece, and in 5 minutes, you're ready to go. The link is in the pinned comment and in the description. And if you're watching on TV, just point your phone at the QR code on the screen. Trick 6. Speaking of proportion, that's exactly the starting point of the 6th trick. One of the most counterintuitive in this entire video, only 2 left, and this one reverses a logic that seems obvious. Most women grab a fluid, wide linen, wide-leg pant full of movement and put on top an equally loose shirt, thinking it will feel light and comfortable. And it does, but it doesn't look elegant. What happens is that the silhouette disappears inside the fabric, and the look ends up having a lot of everything without having any focus. What stylists do is the opposite. They distribute volume in one area only. The balloon linen pants have their moment. They move, they have presence, but the top receives a fitted champagne satin blouse, adjusted at the torso without squeezing, and a low-heel sandal. The look already seems put together, and the detail that organizes everything is where the blouse ends, at exactly the right height to show there's a waist there, even without strongly marking it. This is trick 6 of 7, and the central idea is simple. If the bottom has volume, the top needs to have lightness. Burgundy wide-leg pants call for an ivory boatneck blouse, not a tunic. Wide brown pants call for a white shirt partially tucked in, not completely loose. The rule isn't to squeeze, it's to define. The 7th trick closes the video with something that decides whether linen will seem sophisticated or just casual, and it depends on a detail that most people leave for the last minute without realizing how much it changes everything. Trick 7. And here's the trick I promised from the beginning, the one that transforms linen from a charming fabric into a look nobody forgets. The accessory is what decides the reading of the look, not the clothes. The accessory. This is what stylists know and rarely say out loud. Linen itself is neither rustic nor sophisticated. It's whatever you put beside it. A misshapen bag, a common flip-flop, plastic leather, and the look loses everything it built. A structured bag, a polished shoe, a scarf with intention, and that same linen becomes something completely different. The technical name for this is contrast polish. Linen has organic texture, movement, and almost imperfect lightness. The accessory needs to be the opposite: precise, finished, clean. This contrast is what generates sophistication. One pulls the other upward. Look at this black linen column-cut dress with a nude leather mule and a wine bag with a rigid flap. In the hair, a silk scarf tied to the side. Nothing but intention. Now this navy linen suit with a pointed-toe nude slingback and a burgundy double-strap bag. And these beige linen pants with a white shirt, cognac belt, and soft loafers. Each look seems edited, seems chosen, and the linen in all of them seems expensive. The rule is simple. The accessory should polish the linen, never deepen its rusticity. Now you have all 7 tricks, and if you apply them all together, the tailoring, the unexpected color, the texture contrast, the coordinated set, the clean line on the dress, the volume balance, and the final polish, what appears in the mirror isn't just a summer look. It's a version of you, dressed by someone who knows exactly what they're doing. And now you know, too.